concerns, please let me know. Let me start with sharing my screen. So, second, yes. Oh, Rafael is also here. I think you can see my screen. Okay. So, hello again, everyone. Thank you for joining me for the onboarding/training today. Let's take a look at the agenda and see what are we going to have. I would like to start by telling you all thank you for making the time to join us here. I will try to keep things as efficient as possible. And the objectives today are to help you understand the methodology we prepared and to make sure I can clarify what's expected from you and help you understand the methodologies to ensure mentoring session efficiencies. We have a packed agenda again. I will start very briefly, but before talking about the agenda, I'm going to ask you one thing. I think this is the very base of this presentation. Please trust the methodology. Throughout the program, we will follow the methodology that I'm going to discuss today. It's been designed to get the best out of the session, and this is why I will ask you to follow the same structure in every meeting. For today, our session is a similar structure of a mentoring session. We are going to follow a challenge format during our mentoring session, and we will do something similar today. In the challenge format, we start with welcomes and introductions. Then we continue with a presentation. In this case, I will give the presentation about the mentoring schedule and the methodology. In mentoring sessions cases, it's going to be company presentations, basically. And after that, we have a Q&A session. Please use the chat to write down your questions now and also in the mentoring session. After Q&A, we have an observations and recommendation section, which basically means if you have an observation about companies' issues, or if you have recommendations for companies to overcome these, you can write down again in the chat or in mentoring sessions cases in the meeting document. And finally, we will finish today's session and in the future other mentoring sessions with key learnings and smart commitments. This is basically are going to be given by the companies, in this case by me. If I learn anything during this session and if I have smart commitments, Willem, welcome by the way. So without further ado, we can start. I would like to first introduce Carmen Font, who is our group president, Clean Fuels and Hydrogen Group President. Carmen, if you'd like to say a few words about EIC Scaling Club and why Clean Fuels and Hydrogen is the best group in EIC Scaling Club, or why hydrogen is the solution we need to double down in, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you so much, Yasmin. It's indeed a pleasure to be here with you today. And such a group, no? I think we've seen recently the publication from Draghi's report saying how we have as Europeans to push further this competitive advantage, and Europe has to become much more competitive. So I think this is the group, no? Hydrogen is now in the scope of not just obviously the administration, companies, deep tech in Europe, and more is crossing other sectors, no, with the space and mobility, of course, and so forth. So the Hydrogen Scaling Club group is definitely, I think, definitely the group to be. And I'm excited to be with all of you again, and I hope that we will be able to exactly what is this for, to help and support many deep tech companies within the hydrogen clean fuel sector, and indeed to make them and their projects scalable and to have volumes at competitive price. So that's our commit, and definitely, as I said, thrilled to be these 2 years engaged with you all.
Thank you, Carmen. And before we dive into the details, let's introduce each other. Let's see who is in the club. If you can please introduce yourself and share a bit about your experience, that would be great. Also, if you'd like to share anything about hydrogen industry, only a couple of words, sentences, please. We don't have too much time. That would be great. So we can start with, let me stop sharing so I can see who's in the call. I have Luke at first. We can't hear you.
Now you can hear me. Hi, so thank you. My name is Luc Rade. I'm based in Cologne, in Germany. During the weekend, I'm living in Amsterdam, but the work is mainly in Germany. I do, or the rest part of Europe. Today, I'm working for a live hydrogen producer and supplier, French company. I'm doing for them Central and Eastern Europe operations, development, full P&L control of what we are doing in Central and Eastern Europe. This I'm doing since the very beginning at Life. So joined the company in July 2020. That time we were 14 people. Now we have 217 people. So a very nice scale-up company. In a short time, we went to the stock exchange market, Euronext, etc. So I think we are one of the leading pioneers as a producer of green hydrogen. My background, I started in the renewable energy in 2010. That was at a company called EIC, Norwegian solar panel manufacturer. There I scaled up the company, grow the company to a threefold in capacity. What it was when I started 2010, I was there 6.5 years. And then after that, I was a senior vice president for sales and marketing, managing director of the EMEA organization. And after that, I started my own company, which was in Kazakhstan, developing solar PV production plants. And started the company, get financing in, made an exit of that. And after that, I started again working for a company which was Nel Hydrogen. So it was my first experience getting into hydrogen. There was 2 years, like I said, and then I moved to Life. Before getting in renewable energy, I had another life, which was in the consumer electronics. I worked 9 years for Sony. I worked 7 years for LG. And somewhere in between, I worked 2 years for TomTom Group. At LG, I was commercial director for a German organization, 1 billion euro revenue responsibility, 120 people in sales and marketing. And this was a totally different business, but interesting also over these years in consumer electronics. I worked as well as global responsibility, headquarter functions, as also local or regional functions.
Thank you, Luke. Kristen?
Yes, hello, good afternoon. I'm Christian Weinberger. I am in Austria at the moment. From time to time, I go to Brussels or other interesting places where hydrogen is happening. I've been living in Brussels for 20 years or more than 20 years, working for the European Commission. I was involved in getting the European hydrogen strategy started and getting the EIC started and getting the alliance started. Before that, I was working in industrial policy and SME policy in the European Commission. And before that, I had 20 years of life in private companies. My first employer was IBM. I was account manager of the third largest account in Austria. Then I joined IBM Europe in Paris, and I was special business operations manager. And then I went to Germany to be a product manager for IBM Germany. And after that, I founded my own company and started an operation in IT, being the only provider of IT security solutions for OS2 customers. And just one word with regards to Tech Tour. I was actually in 2009 when I was responsible for entrepreneurship policy for the European Union. I came across William, and then we started initiatives to get entrepreneurship more intensively going, startup companies, but also I was dealing with entrepreneurship education in schools, starting from primary schools. So quite some background also in entrepreneurship. Thank you.
Christian. And Christine Fung. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing any of your names wrong, by the way, I will learn.
So yeah, my name is Christine. I'm based privately in Munich. My company is in Zurich. I founded Swiss Sustainable Yachts together with a friend of mine. The vision was to demonstrate, still is, to demonstrate the usefulness of green hydrogen for decentralized energy systems, and we selected as a first application the development of a completely sustainable recreational boat, the Aquan 1. Other applications we defined are a system for SMEs or homes so that they are fully autark with solar green hydrogen solution. I'm not an engineer, but mostly I've worked in a technical environment with the market and business development. I think, and also networking with the green hydrogen scene here in Austria and Germany, the challenges I see is the lack of knowledge of senior management of the potential of hydrogen, and the lobbyism, especially in Germany, the lobbyism of those companies who see that hydrogen is a threat to their business model. So, for example, that's currently the case with transportation, use of buses in the public area. Yeah, so. But I'm convinced because if you combine solar and hydrogen, then you have always sun and you can use it. And it's, I think, a scaling topic that costs will come down, and then it's a winning solution.
Thank you, Christine. I have Audrey Shalal in my list.
Yes. Hi, Audrey Shalal, Vice President with Cornvest, which is a portfolio company based in deep tech, and it's mostly in sport health and cybersecurity and sustainability, which is in the blue and green economies, and particularly in the hydrogen. And I'm on the EIC. I've been on the EIC jury for the European Commission and the ICT Health and Energy, also. And basically, I'm very involved in the business angel community. I'm on the board of the EPAM for the past 8 years. Just got reelected yesterday for 2 more years. And also Sophia Business Angels and the Impulse for Women in Spain. I had co-founded the Flying Fin Angels, which is an angel network in Jyväskylä, Finland, that is based also in those 4 pillars of sport health and cybersecurity and sustainability. We have now based in Finland, in central Finland, CEFMO, which is the Central Finland Mobility Foundation, and that is focusing all on hydrogen and clean fuels. And this is Toyota's initiative, and so there's a big spotlight now in the hydrogen area in Jyväskylä. So this is where it's been interesting to see with international partners how to start collaborating, because there's also a lot of startups that we're looking at, and also in the scaling stage to be also accelerated and incubated within that foundation. I've been very active with Tech Tour as an expert jury and coach in diverse sectors, and actually with the hydrogen, I was in Latvia. I didn't have a chance to meet Carmen, but happy to meet with her in Athens.
Yeah.
But it was an excellent conference, bringing together those European green valleys with between the Baltics and Nordics. And so yeah, so I'm basically, besides the business angel community, have also been very involved with the European Commission, the OECD, also in the EMEA region, in the Europe, the Middle East, and Africa region. So, and particularly with the main investment program with OECD that's dealing in the startup and scale up stage. So I'm happy to be here and to take part in the community.
Thank you. I have Dora on my screen now.
Sure. Hi, also from my side. I'm Dora. I'm from Greece, and I'm waiting you to come here in Athens next week. I have two hats, let's say. So first one, I'm a partner at Unifund. Unifund is a venture capital fund, which is an early stage investor in deep tech companies. And other than that, I'm the CEO of Cyrus, which is a company in the hydrogen sector. It's a startup, and we started 5 years ago in 2019. What we do is we have designed and we develop hydrogen compressors that are non-mechanical, so they work with a chemical compression system for hydrogen and can be used in the transportation system, so in refueling cars, vans, and so on. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dora. Next, I have Luba.
Hello from my side. It's a pleasure to meet you all today. My name is Luba. I'm from Bulgaria, and I'm the executive director of the Bulgarian Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy Fund. This is a financing institution that is specialized in financing energy efficiency and renewable energy projects in industry, for private households, and for public buildings. Obviously, hydrogen is also, let's say, a new topic on the potential agenda of our financing projects. And actually, this fund is supposed to be transformed into the Bulgarian decarbonization fund, which is an even bigger, let's say, undergoing, which one of the strategic goals will be hydrogen development here in Bulgaria. Before this position, I was for 10 years responsible for the electricity procurement and energy efficiency of the biggest cement plant in Bulgaria. And actually, in the last years of my endeavor with Titan, this is a Greek cement production company, I was responsible for electricity savings and optimization in the entire region of Southeastern Europe. In the meantime, let's say between those two, I got very interested in hydrogen and as such, and there is a Bulgarian technology being developed here for hydrogen production, and this is something that I co-founded a company for exporting into the European markets, the Bulgarian technology. So. It's a pleasure to be with you, and looking forward to our common endeavors.
Thank you, Luba. I have Willem next.
Yes. Hi. Willem Stevens from Clear Corporate Finance. We are a corporate finance company with over 20 people, and we assist scale-up companies, especially in the renewables and then also in the hydrogen, to find the right financier and investor. Our clients are ranging from the energy production, so the making of the energy, so it can be solar and wind, but also thorium, to the energy transportation. So also here, there are some really interesting developments of transportation of hydrogen, not by tube trailers, but by alternatives. And also then the hydrogen distribution, so the little bit simpler, the fuel stations. So on all those facets, we try to assist our clients with finding capital and the investors, and also the financier structures. We are operating, we are headquartered in Amsterdam, So, Luke, maybe we should have a cup of coffee. But next to that, we are operating in Europe, and we have one client in Israel at this moment.
Thank you, Willem. Finally, we have Rafael. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Perfectly.
Hello, very pleased to meet you all. There's a number of you that I know, and for the others, I'm sure we have one person in common, Max. So what about me? I have started 6 years ago life as an independent entrepreneur advisor. I'm advising and investing in the field of hygiene, people from all walks of life, leaders in the public and the private sector, funds, ministers, public authorities, large companies, smaller companies worldwide. And I also have an investment activity, so where I invest my own money, and also together in club deals, depending on the tickets. So it ranges from business angel to VC to growth equity. Already invested in companies that went to the NASDAQ and went to the DAX. Benefited from this growth that we had in 2020. But you know that we are in choppy waters, and I also sit as advisor on the advisory board of a large infra fund called Marguerite that was created by the EIB and a number of national banks across Europe. And that is purely European and allows me to see a number of deals. And I, like some of you, I know the difficulties that it is that we have right now to develop projects. Regarding backgrounds, I have had 2 previous lives, one life as a civil servant. I'm Belgian and French. I live in Brussels, but I was at a certain time heading the economic development of the northern region of France. And then I worked for the European Commission that I saw from inside. And then I was the European Affairs and International Affairs of the French Energy, Telecom and Industry Minister. So that gave me a feel for European affairs and public things, which matter when we look at companies and then they need to raise public money. And from there, I pivoted to the private world, and I was in the field of utility. And my last 2 jobs, I was president of ENGIE in China and CTO of ENGIE, which you may be familiar with. And that's when I met quite a number of you, because I had the honor to be elected chairman of Hygiene Europe and the FCIG. And so I'm in that space, like many of you now, since close to 10 years. And there's a lot in Europe that we can do in choppy water. But I really like the approach of Tech Tour. I had the pleasure to be at the first FCIGU/Tech Tour event focused on hygiene back in Rotterdam back in the days. And since then, you keep the flame burning. And so really happy to be there and looking forward to meeting in person a number of you in Athens, as we understand we're all going to be there very soon.
Thank you, Rafael. I can continue my presentation now. I'm Yasemin. I'm working in Tektor. At the same time, I am a group manager in EIC Scaling Club, Hydrogen, Clean Fuels and Hydrogen Group. My background is more in actually food and agri-tech. I'm a winemaker as well. So if you have any winemaking questions or wine selection questions, you can always come back to me. I will be disturbing you a lot in the next 2 years for mentorship. So I am kind of sorry, and I'm not so sorry because we are all here for the selected companies. Unfortunately, Maria, Olivier, and Ivars couldn't make it today, but you will get to meet them and you will get to see them eventually in some event. Again, here I am, and Donna will be supporting me in some other events as well. She's the group developer. If you're coming to Athens, you're going to meet her. So again, thank you for the introductions. I believe we have gathered an incredible group of mentors, and let me tell you a bit about EIC Scaling Club. I know you all know it, so I'm just going to summarize what EIC Scaling Club is. EIC Scaling Club is the Deep Tech Impact Initiative of European Innovation Council and the member states. In a nutshell, we are trying to boost very selective deep tech scale-ups, and we try to grow them rapidly. The main idea, the vision, is to grow the selected companies to be a unicorn in the next 3 years. Obviously, I know valuation doesn't show us much, but we are going to try our best to support them and create a real change in hydrogen industry in the European clean fuels, green energies, basically. We have an unparalleled program to deliver our vision for the next 2 years. And our mission is to foster a brighter future by supporting the top tech entrepreneurs to tackle world's most pressing challenges, including segregation, security concerns, AI, climate change, and more. And how are we going to do this? Basically, the 2-year-long program has 6 phases. First of all, we have highly selected companies. Our stakeholders nominated many companies in hydrogen, and they help us select those 12 final companies. And the first thing we try to do is to create a strong relationship, strong club around them. So we bring together more than 500 stakeholders, investors, corporates, policymakers, you are mentors. And after this strong relationships, we also are going to provide them some mentorship services. Thanks to you, basically, we will help them in their general business challenges, and we will try to solve them one by one, from the most pressing challenge to the and to follow, basically. To follow that, we are going to organize some roadshow and partnership events where we are going to invite people who can invest on these companies and or create partnerships with these companies. Another important part of the program is to have entrepreneurs that are in the similar stage in their growth to support each other. Finally, I already had some interviews with the companies, and this is something I keep hearing a lot. We are trying to grow the visibility and recognition of these companies across Europe and also internationally. So, of course, why do we ask you to invest your time in EIC Scaling Club? Hydrogen is pivotal for Europe's transition to a sustainable energy future. And by mentoring the startups in the hydrogen field, you are helping to shape the technologies and infrastructure that will power the next generation, basically. And your guidance can significantly impact the success of these ventures that we are already selected. And hopefully we are going to create a tangible progress in Europe's hydrogen strategy, and also contribute to the global fight against climate change. And also through EIC Scaling Club, you'll connect with other leaders in the sector, including investors, corporates, and partners. You're going to meet the best companies, best startup scale-ups of Europe in hydrogen industry as well. To conclude, together, we will try to ensure that Europe will lead the way in creating sustainable hydrogen-powered or clean fuel hydrogen-powered future. So, of course, it goes without saying, EIC Scaling Club is built on 3 core values: honesty, trust, and care for others. So as mentors, it's essential to foster an environment where CEOs and company members feel comfortable sharing openly, receiving feedback constructively, and collaborating towards common goals. So each and every mentoring session, we will ask you to keep that in mind. So today, what we are trying to achieve out of this session is to help you understand the mentoring methodology, understand the schedule, and finally, we are going to end up with an interactive Q&A session. So I've been telling a lot, like challenge format. What is the challenge format? I already mentioned, but so all of these mentoring sessions are going to be in a specific format we call challenge. The objective is to ensure effective and structured meeting. So we will start with welcoming Then basically we will introduce what's going to happen in the meeting. Then the presentation by the companies. During the presentation by the companies, observations and recommendations, and key learnings. So let's start. The first step is always the welcome and the session objectives. The group manager, probably me or another facilitator and someone from our team to keep notes, is going to be present during every mentoring session. So you just need to show up during the mentoring sessions, and we are going to take over the welcome and session objectives part of the session. Then we have the presentation part. Basically here, the company is going to present. It could be their pitch deck, or it could be a specific presentation based on the session that we are going to have. During presentation, we will ask mentors you to write down your questions on the meeting document or in the chat. You can do so as I go. So this could be a training for all of us as well. Following the presentation, we will have the Q&A session. So basically, here we will ask you to read your questions out loud. Writing the questions are important because we want you to formulate your questions clearly and concisely. And sometimes when you create the question in the moment, we don't get the effect that we want. And then the companies are going to answer verbally. In the meantime, we will ask our mentors to write their observations and recommendations in the meeting document and in the chat. Basically, here we will ask you to again write your observations and recommendations short, precise, and to the point. An observation could be the company is unaware of their main competitors, and the recommendation could be the company needs to undergo detailed competitor analysis. They need to consult external help. In this time, companies are not going to say anything. They're just going to listen. They're not going to make any comments unless it's really necessary. And following that, we are going to give the floor to the company again, and they are going to put down the key learnings, and they are going to set some SMART goals again, SMART goal to fix their challenge. So let's go from the competition example. Your observation is that the company didn't know the competition, and you recommend to consult help. So I could say my key learning is that I didn't know my competition, and as a SMART goal, I could say I'm going to find a consultant to support me in the next 2 months, etc. So let's talk a bit about the structure of the sessions. So basically, each company is going to have 4 mentors, 2 main mentors and 4 extra mentors. So basically for you, it means that you're going to have 4 companies. You're going to have 2 assigned companies and 2 extra companies. So you're going to be the main mentors of these 2 companies, and you're going to attend all of their sessions. And for your extra companies, you're going to attend their collaborative sessions. So here is how the mentoring map would look like. So we are going to start with company deep dive sessions. I will dig deeper in all these sessions, and I'm going to share the presentation, so please don't worry. So we will start with company deep dive sessions, where you're going to learn about the companies. Then we are going to have a challenge definition session. Following that, we have challenge collaboration session, and finally we will have the contact exchange session. So I think it's important to also mention the sessions are going to start on mid-January, and they will continue until March, probably. But to be honest, I think it's going to be more April and May, based on the new changes in the calendar. I'm going to send you emails soon to ask your availability for this time period, so we will try to arrange the session. So let's talk about each session and what these sessions are designed for. The first session is company deep dive. During this session, there is going to be one company and 4 mentors. So you're going to have 4 company deep dive sessions per 6 months. The company is going to present themselves. They're going to basically pitch their business. You will ask your questions. You will try to understand their business better. And by the end of this presentation, by the end of this session, what we are going to ask you to help companies identify their challenges. We are not going to define one challenge here, but kind of challenge companies understand what their challenges are. Basically, 3 to 5 challenges we are trying to define here. So we defined our challenges on the first session. The second session is challenge definition session, where we are going to have one company and only the 2 main mentors. Here, you as the main mentors, you are going to help companies define their most pressing challenge. It could be, I don't know, investment. It could be the team. It could be sales pipeline, anything. And from there, you're going to select one challenge. And after selecting this one challenge, the company will create a slide that includes some background information. And we are going to have the third session, which is the challenge collaboration session, where we are going to have one company and 4 of their mentors. After a company presents the challenge and the background, we are going to ask you help them set some SMART goals, support them SMART goal on SMART goal setting. Again, we are going to use the same format for all these 3 sessions. There's going to be an introduction, there is going to be the presentation by the company, and then you're going to give observations and recommendations, and companies will set the SMART goals. We believe in this methodology, and we already had one cohort back in April, started in April, May, that worked quite well for the companies and for the mentors. So please do follow this format. Please try to respect the format in all the meetings. Again, I will be there, and another colleague of mine will be there to take notes. So we only ask you to be there. Finally, to end up this mentoring cycle, we have a contact exchange session. Basically, we are going to have all of our mentors and all of our companies. We are going to also invite our stakeholder members. So this session is not going to be under NDA, but the rest of the sessions are going to be under NDA. You already signed your NDAs. So during this session, the company is going to present themselves for 1-2 minutes and their business, and then they're going to have a specific ask. If I'm trying to raise money, I'm going to ask to our mentors and stakeholders. I'm looking for a Series B investor who can lead my investment round and bring me some other investors, for instance. And then the crowd is going to say if they have a contact for this company or not, and we will facilitate introductions. So basically, there are 4 general outcomes from the mentoring sessions. The first one is to get advices on the most pressing challenge of the company, get invaluable contacts, do the facilitated intros for the company, and support these companies with all the EIC Scaling Club's resources. So to give you a general idea how much you're going to be, how much we're expecting you to commit in the first 6 months, it's going to be 10 to 12 hours. You can see the hours here. We have an extra session called Roadshow Preparation. Not all the companies are going to opt for this session, but basically that's going to be the main mentors, the 2 main mentors and the company, creating a strategy around the roadshow, the club roadshows that will happen later in the year. So if your company needs some support from their mentors before going to the roadshow events, they are going to ask us to arrange this session. And also, I think this was in your agreement and everything. You're going to be financially contributed all the hours that you commit for these sessions. But other than that, in any point, if you would like to take part in other companies' collaborative sessions, basically the first and third session, if you're not the mentor of company A, but you would like to learn more or support them in their journey, you can join this session voluntarily. So let me talk a bit about the tools that we have. So soon, once you have your companies, once we match you with your companies, we are going to send you the company folders, the 4 company folders that you're going to mentor. In this folder, the most important part is going to be the meeting notes part. Basically, in this document, in this folder, you're going to have 1 Word document per each session. And when you go to those Word documents, you're going to see the mentoring map, the meeting agenda, the preparation by the company, and the meeting notes. So before the session, you can just check the Word document. Like if you're going to have a challenge definition session with a company, you can just go check that document, or you can also go remind yourself what happened in the previous session as well. And when you're checking the session, you can check the preparation by the company, if they prepared anything. If you want to read that, you can try to understand what is going to happen during this session, what's the expected outcome, basically. And this is what is going to be useful for you for the mentoring. And again, please do not worry. I'm going to be in the sessions with you throughout the process. So I will make sure I support you. You don't have to worry about anything. So this is what the Word documents look like. So basically, we are going to have a Q&A part, observations and recommendations part, and for each session, we are going to have a different part that we are going to fill out. You don't need to put your questions, observations, or recommendations here. I would highly recommend, we are going to share the link of the document in the beginning of every session. So you can directly go to that document, or you can put your questions and observations in the chat. That's important because, again, it's really important for us to be time efficient. And also, I think nobody can take the essence of your questions as good as you are. So I highly would recommend you to put your questions, your observations and recommendations written. And for each session, again, we are going to write down the scaling challenges, the three to five scaling challenges of the companies. It's going to be done by us. And then the priority challenge. And finally, the smart commitments. This is going to be more or less done during the session, but we are going to finesse everything as EIC Scaling Club team. Basically, what we are trying to achieve is that red block with the smart commitments. So before the session, there are going to be 2 things you need to do. First, the scheduling of the session. Again, I'm going to reach out to you next couple of months to ask your availabilities for mid-Jan to May. So we will try to arrange the sessions beforehand, so your calendars are still kind of free. And before the sessions, you can just prepare yourself a bit. You can read the document. I'm going to also send you a mentoring manual. So at any point, if you have any problems, that could be your go-to document. Before the session, basically, make sure your technical setup is good, your microphone, your connection, and please let us know if you have any issues before or during the session or after the session. I'm going to be your go-to person for that. And after the session, I'm going to send you an email. Basically, it will include the meeting notes. It will include the main outcome of the session and the next session, when the next session will be held with that company. So just read it out, complete or verify meeting notes if there is any issues. Basically, if you could just check the main outcome of the session, I think that would be enough. And keep continued support if you had anything you have anything that you promised the companies during the session, please keep that in mind and please try to follow up. I'm going to be there to support you and the company. So if anything needs to be done, I'm going to be disturbing you with those maybe. So here is our calendar. Basically, next week we have the Scale 100 event. And after that, I'm going to send you a company preference survey. I'm going to ask you to rank the companies you think you could support better. I already had some meetings, so I know what some of the companies are looking for. I will try to put that down in a short document and I will share that with you after this meeting as well, so you would have a general idea. Early November, we are going to do the mentor and company matching, and following that, we are going to arrange the mentoring calendar. So you are going to receive the calendar invites. And from mid-January to April, we are going to have our mentoring sessions. Late April to May, we are going to have the contact exchange sessions where you are all going to be expected to attend. And after May, the companies are going to have their roadshow and roadshow events for partnership and investment. After a year, we will ask you to renew your contract. By the way, I have to mention, if anytime you feel like this is too much, you can't do it, you can opt out from mentoring without any penalties or so. We are not here to bind you with our contracts or anything. We are here for the good of the company. So at any moment you feel like this is too much for you, you can opt out of the program and you can continue maybe on the next cycles, etc. Thank you. So as we would do in the challenge sessions, we will continue with Q&A session. I see we already have a question. Let me see. Audra write me a note. So thank you, Audra. But do anyone have any questions? Maybe I can stop sharing. We don't have anything else. Was it all clear? I know it's a bit hard to take in, it's too much information, but don't worry, I'm going to be there with you during every session, so I'm going to support you. And once we have the first session, I think it's going to be way easier. And I know how all of you have a lot of experience. So okay, Rafael, goodbye. So I know during the you are not going to have any issues. I'm going to share the presentation and the recording with you, and I'm also going to share the mentoring manual with you. So I think those are going to be quite useful. No question? Is everyone okay? Are you sure?
Yeah, Jasmine, thank you so much for the overview. It has been terrific, and I think it's crystal. I think it's a very good overview. So just a question. So in person, how many in-person meetings do we have with the companies out of the 10 to 12 hours that we have discussed? Or these are purely virtual meetings? How is foreseen within the program? Thank you.
Great question. These are the 10 to 12 hours are all virtual online events. The only time you're going to meet with the companies is going to be in the Athens, I would say, or if you attend our roadshow events somehow in any capacity. So basically the mentoring sessions are all going to be online events, just an hour-long online events.
Okay, perfect. So in Athens and in May, no? The roadshow that you mentioned that was supposed to be May,
yeah,
no?
May, June, there's going to be another club event. You're going to be invited as well, yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Any other questions? Okay, I want to believe that everything is clear. I know it's a lot of information again. So if this was a mentoring session, you would be asking your questions and I would be answering. In the meantime, you would be writing down your observations. For instance, I am not allowed to create observations in this setting, but you could say, my observation, the presentation was too long. My recommendation, next time, put more pictures, for instance. And after that, I would be setting some SMART goals. smart goals for Yasemin. Next time, for the next training program, put more pictures in the presentation. And we would put all of this in the meeting document. And I would have some real smart goals to work on, basically. If you don't have any questions, thank you for your presence. Thank you for your time. And again, as I mentioned, I'm going to share all these documents with you. And thank you again. Hope to see some of you next week. If not, I'm going to see you during the mentoring sessions, and I'm going to send you many emails for the next couple of months. So please bear with me.
Okay. Thank you so much, Yasmin.
Thank you very much.
Very useful.
Thank you,
Thank
Yasmin.
you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.
See you soon.
All the
Bye.
best.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you in a few days, and looking
Bye.
forward to it. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Willem.
See you in Athens.
See you.